ايكو يعني؟ اوكي.
أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Thank you for being here today. I know it's you've taken time out today. I wanted to acknowledge everyone for being here. It's a Sunday afternoon and the sun is shining. It's a rare occasion that we have weather like this, and I wanted to acknowledge everyone for being here today. This is an annual procession that takes place, and I recognize some of the faces that are here. So who was with us last year, in last year's procession? If you could raise your hands. Okay, so we've got a good number of people that were here last year. So my name is Muhammad al-Bayati. I am one of the organizers for the Ashura procession and also for the Muharram program. I have been doing this for the last 6 years, and the route that we're taking this year, we have been taking this particular route for the last 3 years, and it's attracted a lot of publicity and a lot of media attention. And for those reasons, it's important that we have these training sessions for the volunteers and also for the organizers to refresh on what needs to happen on the day itself and how we need to address the members of the public. So today's agenda, if everyone has an agenda, we're going to shortly start with a short introduction about AL-MAJLIS al-Hussaini, the Hussaini Association, the procession, the history behind the procession. We're going to then hear from Ali Mashkour, who is one of our security consultants, on some of the security procedures and what you should and shouldn't do as a volunteer when interacting with the public, or things that you need to look out for in terms of security. Following that, we're going to talk more about how the procession is split, how we divide it into sections and the reasons we do that and why that's important. And then we're going to have a talk by Sayyid Hassan al-Sadr on presentation and how to speak to the public, followed by a half-hour training session by members of the Who is Hussein team. We're going to, again, talk about how we present the Imam Hussein to the general public. So I wanted to first of all, start off by talking about the history of the Hussaini Association and AL-MAJLIS al-Hussaini. It was established and has been running Majalis for Ashura and for Muharram since 1984. I think one of the first Majlises that we ran was in Regent's Park Mosque, believe it or not. So it was a very long time ago that it started, and since then it has grown to what it is today. And our message is simple. Our message is one of unity. Our message is one to talk about the story of Imam Hussein. We do not have any political affiliations, and we do not associate ourselves with any particular religious groups. Our message is that of the story and the plight of Imam Hussein and what happened. And we believe that that message should be conveyed very clearly to the rest of the public, and we're very privileged to live in a country that allows us to do that year on year. So it's a great responsibility, and it's a fantastic opportunity to be able to present that message to the general public in a clear, concise way that is accurate and shows what we are about as a community here. So, what does the message of Imam Hussein mean to you? Let's hear from some of us as to what that message is, so we get an idea of what you say if you're asked about Imam Hussein. You'd like to share with us about the message of Imam Hussein. Yeah, go ahead. That's right, stood up against tyranny and corruption. And if someone was to ask you who is Imam Hussein, what would you say? Great, okay, so you're going to talk about where he came from, his heritage, his lineage. Great, fantastic. What else? Who else can share what Imam Hussein means to them? I'm sure everyone has something to say. Yes?
I think it's very important that we all know that we carry a very big responsibility as volunteers of this month. Everything we do is going to be observed by the public. So we ourselves have to be a walking message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. The way we dress, the way we speak, the way we approach the public, the way we approach
That's right, yeah. So that is very important for those who didn't hear. We need to be able to convey the akhlaq of Imam Hussein when we're talking, in the way that we approach people and the way that we respond to people. So anyone who doesn't know these akhlaq, what would those akhlaq be? Sister Taqwa, what would you say?
Well, in the Ashura procession generally, we should walk, as in we should just be showing a message of good akhlaq, as good Muslims. We shouldn't be agitated very easily by the public or even by the people in the procession. We're going to have a lot of people that are not going to be listening to us as helpers, as khaddam of the procession, as khaddam of Imam Hussein. We have to respond to them nicely. We have to respond to them without getting angry, without being agitated. There are going to be lots of people that are going to potentially push our buttons, say the wrong things, criticize what we do. We have to keep calm. One of the main things we have to do is just keep calm and not be triggered by these negative comments and stay positive. And obviously, all the good akhlaq of Imam Hussein is be nice, be kind, be approachable, have not a big smile on your face because it's a day of mourning, but just be pleasant in the way we convey ourselves, in the way we speak to the people.
That's correct, and that's exactly the essence of the message that we want to convey. So it's a message of showing akhlaq not only in the way that you speak, but also in your body language, and how you convey that message across in a way that's adequate. And don't forget, most of the people that live here, they don't know anything about Imam Hussein. They don't know anything about the tragedy. They don't know anything about the message. So today you're going to get an idea as to how to respond to people, to get the message across in a way that they can understand. When you talk about the tragedy, it's alien to them. People don't understand what happened more than nearly 1,500 years ago. They don't understand the plight or the tragedy or the deaths or the sacrifice that was caused or the tyranny. They're living in a modern world. As you know, we live here amongst them, and you know what resonates. So the message has to be one that strikes that people can relate to, people can understand, something that allows them to really understand what happened and what we stand for as a community. Because all they're going to see is a group of people very committed to this person, and they don't know why. And we're all dressed in black, and they will see it like, rather than a celebration, a funeral. So we have to convey that message in a way that surpasses those first impressions. And it's very important, as Sister Taqwa was saying, that the akhlaq, your body language, the way you speak to people is that much extra than you would normally. If you're a nice person, be nicer than you would be normally. If you are a gentle person, be more gentle than, be more understanding, be more patient. So these things are all important. So today, I wanted, first of all, to go through the route and what the procession is going to be about. So for those who participated last year, the route set off from Marble Arch, and it went down Oxford Street, down Regent Street, and we finished off in Trafalgar Square. Now, because this year is during a weekday, there are slightly different dynamics. Does anyone participate with us in 2016, where we finished off near Downing Street? Yeah? Okay, so the route that we're taking this year is going to be that same route. We're going to be finishing off near Downing Street rather than Trafalgar Square. And the main reason being is that Trafalgar Square is not available for any events on a weekday. And so this event, the procession, falls on a Thursday. There's also another dynamic that we have to remember. It's a working day. People are going to be at work. They're also going to be preparing to head home by the time the procession gets to them. So we have to be mindful that people are going to be moving around. There's going to be a lot more people around us as a procession than there was last year. So again, you're going to have more interactions with people. People are going to be moving around. And so you're going to see that people will be maybe agitated. They'll be frustrated. They'll be wondering what's going on. So there's a different dynamic than we had last year. It's not going to be the same environment. So don't treat it like it's the same procession. And like the Ashura program and the Muharram program that takes place every year, these training sessions are similar, that we remind ourselves of the reasons why we do what we do, we remind ourselves of the message that we want to convey and how we convey them. So this is a practical tool. Some people might say, why are we doing training session again? I attended last year. It's important to keep it fresh, and these training sessions serve a purpose, and this is the purpose behind that. So that's the route. We're going to start gathering. If all the volunteers could be at the Marble Arch Square, but I would say, you know, most of them will probably, most people will be during the, you know, attending a maqtal here, and then afterwards, as soon as the maqtal is finished here, or if there is a recitation at the Marble Arch, then we'll expect everyone to be there at 9 a.m. Yes?
Question. So are we going to have a speech in the Marble Arch?
Yes, we do have a speech. We have a maqtal that's going to be reading at the Marble Arch.
Fine.
So
So
Muhammad
at the
al-Safi.
end, so I was there in 2016.
Yeah.
So at the end in Downing Street, so last time there was a few problems when people didn't know it was finished.
That's right.
So I think maybe this time if we can make it clear, like in the speaking the mic, that right, please go home, it's finished, it makes sense because people were just expecting something else is going to happen.
So this year we were assured that Richmond Terrace, which is the endpoint for this year's procession, was available 2 years ago. However, you know, the day of the procession there was a lot of scaffolding, there was a lot of obstacles in the ways, and we couldn't use that area as well as we could have. This year, however, there is an open green area that they have allocated for the procession, and we're going to have rites of passage for that particular area. It can house up to 1,000 people. So the stewards, the security company will have signage, and they will have the cones that will, you know, be able to indicate to people where the end point is. So it's going to be a lot more organized than it was.
Do we have like a loudspeaker in that area to tell the public, our public, that please go home and I stop this?
Yes, so what we did in the last year, we had a moving vehicle, a mobile vehicle that had the speakers and sound system on there, and it had a mobile PA system. So it will have a similar usage. Basically, it will have everything on board, and it will move as part of the procession. So once it arrives at Richmond Terrace, I'm sure there will be people ahead of this particular vehicle, but that will be used to make any announcements.
So is there any food that we given out?
Yes.
Okay, and it will be at the end point?
Yes.
Okay.
So food and refreshments will be given at the end point. There will be a presentation of an acknowledgement letter to the 10 Downing Street, which we're organising, but we're just waiting for confirmation that we'd be allowed to do that. And there will be a number of representatives that will be able to walk into Downing Street to be able to present that to 10 Downing Street.
That's very good.
But that hasn't been confirmed as yet, but we're working on that, and I'll brief everyone beforehand. But that will just only add a little dynamic in that if anyone is asking any questions as to what's happening at the end point, there may be a presentation given to 10 Downing Street. So that will be one of the elements that we're hoping to confirm. So any other questions that anyone else has in terms of the route and the procession itself? Anything that happened last year that was a concern to anyone who attended that they would like to share, so we can deal with it and form, you know, have an answer for it?
So we had a lot of flags.
Sorry.
Sure. So we had quite a lot of flags and a lot of content in Arabic, and it was black. So it was just, the message was kind of confusing. Like, are we promoting that within the organization to have extra flags, or do you have control that whatever is presented is from here?
So this is a very good point that Shah has raised. There were some flags that were black in color and in Arabic that were being distributed and also were being held as part of the march. We have placards. We have, you know, the banner at the front of the processions. We also have the colorful placards that we print out on a yearly basis, and these placards convey a message of unity, of love, of compassion, and they have quotes from Imam Hussein. So these placards are the ones that are official. Anything that has the Al-HUSSAINI logo, these are official placards. Anyone else who's introducing any other type of designs or any other type of placards, I would request that if you have a radio, that you communicate that to your team leader, you communicate that to any of the supervisors and advise them that someone is attempting to distribute placards. There were attempts, and some of them were successful in infiltrating the procession. with placards that had a political agenda, and so those were not. We prevented them, but during the procession, it's a very long walk, so we rely heavily on you as a group of volunteers to really identify and notify us if anyone is acting in that particular way, so that we can get it sorted out. Yes, brother, at the back.
I was going to say that there were some Harveys that they try to educate some of the securities and the stewards. So I'm just going to say that they try to come to you or start problems and just leave them and keep going, or tell the security or someone else.
That's correct. And as you'll hear from Ali Mashkur today, the advice generally for anyone who wants to start trouble is to report it to your supervisors. We appreciate your time and your assistance as volunteers. We don't want you to be in a situation where it could be problematic for yourselves and you put yourself in danger. You're here to mainly assist us in coordinating the event ومأجورين بهذا العمل, but we wouldn't expect you to deal with any troublemakers. So we have enough security, we have enough stewards that are trained in how to manage these situations, and I would request that if anything comes up, if there's any problems, anyone trying to cause a disturbance, please report it to your team leader or the immediate supervisor. So thank you for that question. Anyone else who has any questions regarding the route, any traffic issues, how people walk along, the gaps, stopping, anything else? Yes?
Can I just also add that the colours of the vests will be decided on the day. So the ladies probably have a different colour to the men. And I don't want any questions sort of on the day, can we have a yellow vest, can we have an orange vest? It doesn't matter which vest you're wearing. The important thing is you have been granted this opportunity and you have been chosen with tawfiq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Imam al-Hussain to serve. And it doesn't matter what kind of vest we're wearing or what our role is, as long as we do it in the right way, we're serving that message. And it's such a great blessing to be chosen to be able to help. Not everyone gets that opportunity. It's a tawfiq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to attend these things and be part of them to help out them. So that's it.
Yeah, it's a very good point that Sister Taqwa raised regarding coordination. The last event, most of the last minute coordinations happen on the day. So the way we will organize it is dependent. As you know, there are a lot of volunteers that are not present here with us today. So I'd expect everyone that you know who's going to be attending on the day to actually hear from you regarding this particular message and to hear from you as to what you learned here today. And again, items such as vest color coordination, the team's arrangements, we would like and we would ask that everyone considers that we've all been part of the Muharram program for 10 days. We're all exhausted, we're all tired. And just to be that extra patient and to just listen to your supervisors and be that space that allows us to serve the people and to really show that message to the rest of the community here in London. So if no one else has any further questions, I would like everyone to say salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad and welcome Mr. Ali Mashkur to the stage.
بعدين واحد يترجم لك. السلام عليكم. Okay, so as Brother Muhammad said, my name is Ali Mashkur. I am an ex-police officer, currently working as a project manager in Iraq, part of the security industry. So I know a little bit about security. Okay, first we'll start off with the roles of the volunteers. You're there to help assist the flow of people. You're there to make sure that everyone's constantly moving and keeping them on the right track. I believe we're also going to have some rules to keep people on the streets rather than on pavements. We want to show of presence. We want everyone to see that we're a very large group in the middle of the streets. the roads will be blocked, and therefore it should be only open for us. You may have other people that are trying to go into the group. If they seem to be normal and not there to cause trouble, I would say leave them. Let them be involved. Let them get involved. This procession is not ours. It's for Imam Hussain. Everyone is welcome. So that's that one. Number 2, I have information and intelligence. Internationally, police depend on information and intelligence. It's all led by information and intelligence. At the moment, we don't have any information to suggest that we may have trouble, or we have groups that may want to cause any problems in the procession. But you are our eyes and ears. If you hear something from friends, family, if you see anything on social media, when these are advertised, if you see anything or hear anything, please do let us know. It's very important that we hear this information. It could be, even if it's something that you might think it's a joke, or you might think it's just something that is being said. Anything you do here, please do let us know. It's very important because we need to pass that on to other agencies. This next point is mainly for the Shabab. Some of the Shabab like to get very involved and have a lot of passion, and unfortunately do make the wrong decisions. Some years back, we've had a number of the Shabab carry a form of weapons, whether it's a stick, a knife, any form of weapon. I'll keep it very plain and simple. Do not do it. If I see anyone carrying any form of a weapon, I will have you arrested. As simple as that. You are not there as security officers. You are not there as police officers. You are not allowed to carry any form of weapons. Put them away, please. Don't bring them. Keep them at home. If you see any trouble, there are paid security staff, professional security staff to deal with situations. If you see anything wrong, please report it. You have your team leaders, you will have police officers, you will have security staff there. If you see anything wrong, report it, and then you can just watch from a distance as a witness, because later on, if a problem does happen, you're there as a witness. You've seen what's happened, and you can report that to the police. Next point, as Brother Muhammad and Sister Taqwa mentioned earlier, we're there to show our akhlaq, and akhlaq, the teachings of Imam Hussain. We're not there to fight. We're not there to show our strength. We're there to absorb people's frustration, anger. Like Muhammad said, it's going to be a working day. A lot of people around that time will be leaving work or during their lunch break that want to go eat something or want to go home, and we are there blocking their roads. So a lot of people will come and question, what is this? What's going on here? Why are you blocking our way? Just try and calm people down. You're there to calm the situation down. No matter what happens, no matter who faces you, what they say, you're there to absorb their anger and just accept whatever they say. It's okay, it's fine, because you're doing it for one reason. Okay? You're not there to show your strength. You're not there to show your power. So please, just absorb people's frustration. Next point, although I don't think many of you here will have a radio, but I would like to make that clear. Every radio system, we call it a radio protocol, how to use a radio. There are certain set ways, but I'm sure most of you guys here haven't had the training. I just want to keep it very short. There are 3 things that you need to know when you are using a radio, if you do have a radio. If you have a message that you want to put out there on the radio, first you need to call out the name of the person you are calling. 2, you need to have your message to be very clear and short. Don't give a whole story over the radio. You will block out the radio and no one else can use it. Keep it very short, very clear, and simple. Just very simple instructions. If I want to call Muhammad, Muhammad, can you hear me? Muhammad will reply back, yes, who is this? Because you probably won't know who it is. I'll say it's Ali. I have a problem outside Topshop. And then either he makes his way, or he will call again and say, what is the problem? And then I explain. Okay? Keep it very short, very simple, and please calm. You don't need to shout. If you shout on the microphone now, if I was to shout out in the microphone, you're not going to hear what I'm saying. So keep it very clear and don't shout. Last point, traffic management. I don't believe anyone here has had any form of traffic management training, so please, there is a company there that's going to be on the day. Their responsibility is to manage traffic, to manage vehicles, cars, trucks, motorcycles, everything. That's their responsibility. Don't get in the way of vehicles, trying to stop them so people can cross. That is not within your right. You're not trained to do it, you're not qualified to do it, and you're not insured to do it. If something was to happen, you will be responsible, not us. We'll try and help you, but if something does happen, you are responsible. That's it for me. If anyone has any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. Great.
So, Brother Ali, what would you do if someone did try to interfere or try to cause a problem in the procession? They try to infiltrate or get in, and you can see, like you said, you should allow people to take part, but if you have a sense that that person is going to cause a problem, what would you do?
So if I feel someone is trying to infiltrate or come into the procession and they are there to cause a problem, if I was one of you here, I would, you're always going to have someone near you wearing a high-vis jacket. Work in twos. One person keeps an eye on that individual or group. The other person goes to inform a team leader or someone else. So we always want to have that continuity. One person observes the group or that person, so you know what they are. You need to mentally remember what they are wearing. If they are carrying anything, what are they carrying? Where are they heading? Who are they talking to? Register all that information and have someone else go and call either security staff, police officers, or one of the team leaders. Your first point of call should be a team leader. If you can't find your team leader, then move to the next step, either security or police officer or one of the organizers. But don't get in their way, don't try and stop them, let them be. There are other people to deal with situations. Is that correct? Yeah? Anyone else?
Yeah. Regarding the radios, do we have a different channels?
That will be agreed on the day. I believe radios are only going to be given out to team leaders, right? And they will have their own set of training on how to use the radio and what channel they should be on and so on.
Were there any team leaders here that were team leaders last year? How many? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got, yeah. Okay, so
but on the day, I guess we'll let them know how we switch channels. Okay. أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
مرة ثانية على فاطمة الزهراء.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أحسنتم. Then, so thank you, Brother Ali, for that. There's going to be a slight change to the agenda. We were expecting one of the organizers to be here. Unfortunately, he's running late, and I don't want to keep everyone here longer than need be. So on the day itself, you will all be, is everyone here part of the WhatsApp groups, by the way, for the volunteers? Who isn't part of the WhatsApp group? Everyone else is part of the WhatsApp group? No? Okay. So we want, if everyone has filled out one of these forms, have you all put your mobile phone numbers on here? Okay, so you're going to be added to a WhatsApp group for the volunteers, and we will distribute information for the timings for when to get Marble Arch, where you need to be, who you need to report to, So please, when you're added to the group, follow that information, and if you have any questions, raise them, because I'm an administrator, Sister Taqwa is also administrator. There are two groups, one for the males and one for the females. So you're not going to have the groups all together, it's going to be split. And also on the day itself, it's important to remember that there are effectively two processions. There is a procession for the men and there is a procession for the women. And they both have different dynamics and they have different ways of managing those two different sections. For the men's side, you know, it leads the main procession, but there is also a different dynamic. There will be a mobile PA system, that is a truck, that will be a lorry that will be moving along with the procession. So there's that dynamic. Also, as the lead section of the procession, it will be stopped wherever there are gaps in the procession that open up. The stewarding company will stop the procession. So it's important to know that whenever there is a large gap within the procession, to really just encourage everyone to continue walking and not to stop, because it causes a delay. The front of the procession obviously want to carry on, but the company and everyone is mindful that they want to make sure that everyone is grouped together. So it's a start-stop scenario. So it's important that if there are any gaps that are created in the men's section, just to encourage everyone to keep moving along, unless you know, one of the supervisors tells you otherwise. For the women's section, there is a gap between the back of the men's section and the front of the ladies' section. So we always have a row of stewards, female stewards, that will start at the front of the female section, and they will ensure that there is a gap, so they will always stop accordingly. They will have Sister Taqwa with them who will be guiding them, and they will stop to ensure that there is a sufficient gap between the back of the men's section and the beginning of the women's section. And that section is usually the most protected. We want to have, we will probably have the most number of stewards and security guards around that section, because that section will have women and children and families in there. So now you may have in the men's section families. You may have husbands and wives that want to walk together. They may want to join the procession after it started off. So we would always encourage that the women tend to, you know, join the other women with the families and kids, because it has the most protection that's there. So always try to encourage those people that want to go together to you know, really understand that we have two sections. We have a section for each denomination, and we would like to keep it that way because of the security, the additional security that we provide. Plus, we know where the families are, so that's how we like to organize it. So please be aware of that. If anyone does join as a family, as part, do advise them that the women's section is you know, further back, and that's where the women and their children should be. And that's how we like to organize it, the section. It makes it a lot easier. So again, the dynamics for the women's section, there are increased security, there will be ropes along either side. So that's one of the main things. I'm sorry I didn't have any visuals, but next time we'll have a training session. I'll have maybe some footage of the procession to show you of how it actually works on the day itself. I think that'll be a lot easier. So now I wanted to move on to I wanted to introduce to you Brother Shah Abbas today, who is going to be presenting to you tips and training techniques on how to present the name of Imam Hussein. So it'll be a short presentation, and I think there's going to be some role play as well. So I would like everyone to also, if there's opportunities to participate in this presentation, great. So there's opportunities, so you are volunteers, so we would like you to also be eager to volunteer to participate in the role play here today. You will definitely get something out of it. So please make a big salawat for Brother Shah Abbas from Who is Hussein organization.
Sorry, my dear. Can everyone hear me okay? Yeah, can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes. So can I have a live salawat, please? I think that was about weak. Do you agree? Can I have a loud one, please? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Do you think that was good? Do you think so? I think we could do better, right? Can I have a loud one, please? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Thank you very much. So just about introduction myself. So my name is Shah Abbas. Originally I'm from Scotland, from Glasgow. Been living here for about 3.5, 4, 5 years. So there's a bit of accent somewhere there. So please forgive me if you don't understand me. But I would like to invite my brother Neil Nasser over to the stage. Can I have a loud salawat, please? So yeah, so Neil and myself, we've been working being part of AL-HUSSAINI for about 3 years now? Yeah, I don't know, we've lost count. So I'm just going to put this mic away, see if you can hear me. Guys, can everyone hear me okay? Yeah. Do we need a mic?
Nah, you need the mic because
because the live feed.
People on the live, they can't hear.
We're live.
Please, yeah.
Oh, okay, wow, thanks. Good. Okay, fine. We will keep the mic. Okay, fine. So, what I want to do today with my brother Neil is I want to share about a story and about feedback, what happened last year while I was involved with the procession with you guys and when we did the training session. Now, before I do that, can someone tell me what do you think is going on with the procession? Can someone answer what do you think is happening in the procession? Why are we doing the procession?
If you were an outsider looking in on that procession, a general public come out of work and you see hundreds and thousands of people walking along in black clothes, beating their chests, crying their eyes out, what do you think their impression is going to be of it?
What do you think is going on? I want to know what do you think is going on? Can someone answer? I don't want the leads here. Someone. It's not difficult, come on, trust me. I'm not asking to make a rocket here.
What, as a neutral?
Yeah? What do you think is happening?
They're crazy.
Okay, good.
Crazy.
They're crazy. Anything else? Okay, if you don't answer, I'm going to point fingers at people randomly and make people answer. So, right, from this section, can someone answer? What do you think? Why are people beating themselves? Why are people crying? Why is people walking in black? And why is there a lot of signs? What do you think is going on?
You would have clues as the answer.
Okay, right. What do you think?
Like, you would have a clue.
You have not got a clue. Okay, what do you guys think? Someone's dead? Okay, we're getting somewhere. Alright, what do you guys think is happening? You don't know? No? Girls? What do you think is happening? No? Over there? Seriously, you're telling me that you guys go to procession and you don't know why people are crying? No? Alright. Neil Nasser, do you want to tell me what do you think is happening with the march?
So, people from the outside looking in are going to think it's some sort of funeral procession. Someone's died. We're martyring. We're commemorating somebody's death. Their vision of it, people from the outside's vision of it, is going to be very skewed. Very skewed. So people are going to ask us what's going on, and you're volunteers, and you can't even answer what's going on. They can't even answer that right now.
So I'm just going to pause here, and I will. Can we have a loud salawat for Sayyid Hassan, please? Okay, so let me just rephrase that again, okay? Because I was not really getting a lot of engagement. So just pretend I'm just a normal person, like as part of the volunteers, wearing the high-vis jacket on, right? I'm walking on the street, all right, and there's a public just looking at me, and they're asking me what is going on. So what am I saying is what's happening. Can someone tell me why we're doing the procession? Let me make it very simple. Someone tell me, why are we on the street, on the Ashura, in London, walking or marching? Why? Yeah, go on. Fantastic. What else? Anyone else? Why are we doing the Ashura? Why are we walking on the streets of London? Yes?
To make everybody aware of this message.
Fantastic. Making aware. Okay. What else? Do you guys not talk a lot? No? Seriously? Please tell me that you guys are like this in your schools. Like very quiet. You don't want to cause trouble because the teacher's going to kick you out. Seriously? Is your parents here somewhere?
No? Okay, fine. Alright, okay, so let me rephrase this again. Neil, why do you think we're on the streets of London on Ashura?
So we're commemorating the death of Imam Hussein. We're marking it. We're doing it in public to show the public. For many, many, many years, we've kept Imam Hussein's values to ourselves, in closed communities, in closed walls. But we do work. We work for companies like Who's Hussein, for IHBDC. We take the name of Hussein out of our majlis, out of our imam burgers, out of our mosques, onto the streets to share the universal values of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And Ashura is something that should be shared. We martyr it, but it should be celebrated.
One of the most important skills, my dear brothers and sisters, and let me just tell you this right now, let me say expectations right. If you want to go fast or further in life, one of the most important skills you need to have is communication. Without communication, you would not be successful in your job interviews. You will not be successful in your interviews in your university. You will not get into a good university. You will not get a good job. Let alone what, you wouldn't even get married in these days. Trust me, most of the marriages break if you don't communicate with one another. So my dear brothers and sisters, I'm just, with this thing that we're doing right now, teaching you guys and you guys speaking to the public, it's a way for you to experience yourself. It's very important while you're young just to learn how to communicate. My dear brother, I can remember when I was young, I was this tiny, I was shy. Do you guys believe that?
No.
I was shy. I was scared to even speak to people. When people come and spoke to me, I was like, sorry, are you talking to me? Like someone else. Okay. Anyway, so I'm telling you, it takes time. Just bear in mind, just cross that boundary, and trust me, it's amazing well done. So what we want to do today, can you sit up there? Okay. So today for the next 20-30 minutes or so, we're going to cover what is going on. Why is a lot of people wearing black, shouting, screaming, crying on the streets? What is the objective of that march? Number one. Number two, who is Imam Hussein alayhi salam? What did he do? Why are we here? Number three is how are we going to, most importantly, who are we going to approach? Okay, that's not the question how. The first thing is who. The second thing we're going to talk about is how are we going to approach them. And then what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about Imam Hussein alayhi salam, how are we going to present him, and finally, what is it that we got to say. Okay, so we just wanted to get you guys to start thinking about what is going on, why we're doing what we're doing, and I want to invite Said Hassan on the stage, who's going to actually explain us of what is the objective of the march, how do you have to behave while you're in the march, if someone asks you a question, what to say, and also why we actually doing what we're doing. Is that okay? Can we have a live salawat for Said Hassan, please?
Okay, Assalamu alaikum everyone. With those two brothers here, I don't think my presence is needed, but I'll say a few things and I'll sit back and wait to hear your views. I will focus on 2 points. Number one is our behavior. The impression that people will get about Imam Hussein alayhi salam, most of it will come from what they will see on the day, from all of us. That is, the most important message they will get. What we will say, and I would like here to thank Shah Abbas and Neil for continuing this blessed workshop. What we will say will have an impact, but most of it will come from them creating an impression by our behavior. So you have to forgive me for sharing the obvious. Number one, speak politely to each other. You know this whole hose, siyah, shouting, ta'al, hey, keep it down. Speak very politely to each other, as if you were in the presence of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam or Sayyid Shuhada or Lady Fatima. Be very respectful and speak politely to each other. No swearing, no inappropriate words, speak politely, and people will notice that. They will see thousands of people, young and old, and there's something special about this march. Everyone is very polite, and everyone is very respectful. Second thing, when you walk down the road and you see people around, look at them and smile. That's all you have to do. All you have to do. Just walk down the road and smile. Naturally, you will look away, or you look at each other. And obviously you're going with a group, with your friends or the family, and they will be talking to each other, and there will be strangers, very friendly strangers, looking at you, just trying to get a positive, image about this whole religion. And you're just looking away, you're trying to avoid them. So just by smiling and nodding, and if you're close to them, you say, hello, how are you, sir? And you keep walking, they will get a very positive impression about the people. Because before I share with you what you should be saying about Imam Hussein, if they see us misbehaving or not behaving to the best standards or to the highest standards, they will think, well, if this man, his followers are, as we can see, وَلَيَعْذُ بِاللَّهِ, then what good is the message? So be polite to each other, be respectful. I'm sure you'll be organized, and the brothers in charge of the logistics will keep enforcing the message about organization and communication, and you should listen to the people in charge, and how you should not behave on your own accord. Don't make decisions. Ask the people in charge, ask the people seniors. And to the people watching, be very polite, respectful, smile, and greet them if you're very close to them. That will create a very positive impression. Now I know the vast majority of you will not speak to the public, and that's very unfortunate. Maybe because your duties on the march will involve a lot of logistics, trying to keep people within the line, and maybe cleaning the streets afterwards, maybe just the whole organization. So most of you will not speak to the public, which would be a loss, because I'm sure whilst you're doing all these activities, you can still say a few words. And the few words you want to say and share with the people there, my humble advice to you is, number one, choose something relevant to the people that you're talking to. Choose something relevant to them. Choose something, an aspect, a moral value that they need in this life. They need themselves. Right? Fighting tyrants is probably not something they are engaged in. But patience, generosity, altruism, kindness, love is something that they need. So if you say this man fought the tyrants, of course he did, but maybe that person, maybe that person will immediately ask you, is this the revolutionary figure who's called Hussein? You'll say, yes, he is, and you will open that page with that respectful member of the public. But most people will need to hear something. They actually need Imam Hussein salamullahi alayhi. They need him to change something in their own lives. So think about, what do people need around you? What do they need? And relate that to this religion, and use a very open phrase. This is a remembrance of the man who showed the highest level of kindness, forgiveness, mercy, and you can explain some of the akhlaq, some of the ethical values of Imam Hussein to the public. And what will be more effective is if you make it personal. Who knows? What's your understanding when I say you make it personal? That message. What does it mean, you make it personal? What do you think, brother? So what's your name? Yusuf. What do you think when I say you make that message personal? احكي بالعربي عادي.
بس ما فهمتك يعني.
سؤالي إذا واحد يسألك شلون تطير رسالة الإمام الحسين بصورة أكثر شخصية؟
يعني فهمه.
شلون؟ Sorry, brother.
Compare it to something you can relate to.
He can relate to. Ahsan, jazakallah khair. And if you want to make it genuine and personal, you talk about yourself. So you may want to say, this is the man who transformed my life, and attending the gatherings in his name or holding, the commemoration in his name changed my life. Why? He taught me the highest levels of patience or courage or generosity or something along these lines. And if you're not genuine, do not speak. But inshallah, from serving Sayyid al-Shuhada for so many nights, weeks and years, you'll have something to say. So you have about 5 days to genuinely, when you attend the majalis, and I know a lot of you are involved in a lot of organizational aspects, but trust me, on Yawm al-Qiyamah, you don't want to be amongst the losers. The losers who heard it all, but they implemented nothing. Oh, I was a volunteer for how many years? For 16 years at the majlis. Oh yeah, what did you learn? Well, you've got 5 days, 5 nights to revise this with yourself. Honestly, what did you learn from the majalis? How did it transform your life? And on the day of the march, share a glimpse of that with the public. And that's all they want to hear. In fact, that's all they need to hear, is how it did transform your life. And if your life was not transformed, then I invite you not to volunteer on the day. Because the last thing we need in the march is a bunch of munafiqeen walking around, wearing black, pretending to be the servants of Imam Hussein, and they can't relate a single lesson on the day to someone who they will meet on Yawm al-Qiyamah, and probably they'll say to them, why didn't you tell me about this man? The reality is we will meet each other on Yawm al-Qiyamah. The people around you who need to hear the name of Imam Hussein, need to hear about Islam, would probably ask you, why don't you tell me? So have something to think about over the next 5 days. How would it transform your life? And be genuine. It changed the way I treat my parents. This man inspired me to change the way I treat my parents. You probably think, is that what the public needs to hear? Yes, that's exactly what the public need to hear. That they need to change the way they treat their parents. And this man did it. He did it for me, and I'm sharing his legacy today. They can check the website, the Who is Hussein, for more details of the story and the battlefield and the legacy of Sayyid al-Shuhada. They can go into all that, but they will remember a picture of a young Muslim or Muslimah who said to them genuinely, this man changed my life. So that will trigger something within them to go and check the website. You do not need to relate the whole legacy of Imam Hussein to them in 30 seconds. You need to spark interest. And the interest is you. It changed my life. I've been listening to these lectures for 10 nights and he changed my life. And I'll stop here. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Thank you very much, Sayyid Hassan. Okay, so just take a step back. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about very simple terms. Now we know we're doing the march because of a man called Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So what we're going to do now is very quickly we're going to go around, and I want everyone to say, who is Imam Hussein alayhi salam? Okay, what did he do? What did he stand for? I'll start by myself. It's fair, so I'm going to go round like this. I want everyone to say, think of something, just one thing, as in who is Hussein. Okay, Hussein ibn alayhi salam is someone who stood for justice. That's what I think. Who is Imam Hussein alayhi salam? What did he do? He fought for Islam. Okay. Loyalty. Amazing.
He is the Prophet's grandson.
Prophet's grandson.
He stood for justice.
Stood for justice. Rose against injustice. Yeah. Anything? Loyalty? Nothing? Okay, oppression. What did Imam Hussein do? Loyalty, okay. Loyalty again. Brother?
Sacrifice.
Sorry?
Sacrifice and determination.
Okay, determination. I'm sorry, say again. Okay, upward religion. Sorry.
I have to treat people with respect.
Respect. Okay.
He taught me
Okay, hijab. Honesty. No?
a way of life.
A way of life. Interesting. Sister Akwa, you're running out of words.
Integrity.
Okay, fantastic, brother. The camera. Make sure you take good pictures of me. Good man. What did Imam Hussain stand for? Or what did you do? What does he mean to you? Anything. So if I say Imam Hussain alayhi salam, what does come in your name? What comes in your head?
Strong.
Sorry?
Strong.
Sorry? Strong. Oh wow, beautiful. Very beautiful. No? Nothing? Love. There you go.
Yeah, family.
Family. Say that, son?
Patience.
Patience, mashallah. Brother? Sorry? Akhlaq. You're very brave. Brave. Neil?
Commitment.
Commitment. Mashallah. I think everyone here has pretty much answered who is Imam Hussain Islam. Everyone knows that. Sorry? Yeah, we can actually go home right now. You don't even need me. But the thing here is, what the next section we're going to talk about is how do you actually present that to someone who have got absolutely no clue about who Abdullah is. Okay? We're going to keep it very simple. Okay, move on to the next step. So we're going to use two approaches. We're going to use reactive and body language. Can you go back a bit if you want? Neil, what is your understanding of reactive and body language?
So being reactive to people that may approach you. So when you're on the streets and the procession's going along, you can be reactive to the way people interact with you. So you may be standing there and watching people's body language. They may be looking at the march and wondering what's happening. They may have their phones out and trying to film it. That's your opportunity to approach and to explain what's going on.
What's the easiest way to identify that? Is people just standing there and just looking, right? Got Primark shopping bag, someone's got like, I don't know, a fancy handbag, I don't know, just name something, Gucci or whatever, right? From Topshop, just walking down the street, but all of a sudden there's a couple just turning around and just pausing, like looking confused, as in like, what the hell is going on? I'm not too sure. Let's just stand here for a bit. Alright, so that is the body language that you're observing.
That's the reactive approach. So everything that you guys mentioned in the room, you shared the universal values of Imam Hussain. They are the universal values that people can connect with. Humanitarian, somebody that shared love, family, committed, strong, powerful, helped the religion of Islam, protected the truth. So you're reacting to somebody there who's standing there, and your approach should always be, good morning, good afternoon, how are you, how's your day? Very simple stuff that how you should open that conversation, right?
Yeah, correct. So that will be two types of people. One are the people in a hurry. They have to get from one place to another place. They're running around, just running, right? You guys go to town centers, you go to Westfield malls, right? Have you seen people like trying to sell you stuff? Have you seen it? Yeah? Who has not seen someone trying to sell you stuff? Right? You walk in a town center, what do people do? Start chucking out leaflets right at you. Right? Trying to grab your attention like, come here, stop, wait, I want to sell you stuff. Right? That's not the people that we want to be. Okay? What we want to do is, we want to see people who are the second type of people, which is standing there and just watching and looking at the march. And those are the people we're going to approach. That's what I call reactive. Reading the body language and they're just standing there. We are reactively approaching them. We are not proactively approaching them. Proactive meanings, someone is running down, you're stopping them to sell them Imam Hussain Islam. You don't need to do that. Make sense? With me? You still with me? Yeah? Good man. Right, next slide. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about how we're going to approach them. Now everyone knows Imam Hussain stood for justice, for love, and for everything, this and the other. But how are we going to do that? So very simple. Is we're going to have a simple open, as Neil said, good morning. We're going to maintain an eye contact, and as Sayyid Hassan and Brother Muhammad said, we're going to smile. Okay? Trust me, if you don't smile, and if you look grumpy, and if you look sad, you need to explain why you look sad and why you're grumpy. Again, I understand it is the Ashura, so we have to explain to them. But the way of life in Britain, the way of life in UK, people find it offensive or rude if you don't smile at them when you're having a conversation. It's a pleasantry. It's how you exchange pleasantry. It's like in this country we shake hand, in different countries we hug, some other countries we bow. In UK, we acknowledge their smile and we smile back. The worst things is the person smiling at you and you're saying, I'm not going to smile. And you're just going to be looking confused. Am I making sense? Yeah? Okay.
Your smile should be genuine as well. So you don't just, smile. Embrace that smile. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, a smile is a form of charity. So you got the opportunity to give charity to everybody. And smile with that genuine, from your heart smile. Your mom's looking down on you. Smile and enjoy and embrace. Salam. Hi, how you doing? How's your day? How's it going? Feel it. Be warm with it.
Right, and then now happens, someone is actually now standing there, you walked up to them, now what are you going to say? Right? This is what I do, and it worked for me, and I'm just going to share it. So it might work, might not. So the person standing there, and I'm going to approach him and I say, hi sir, good morning, how are you doing? As Neil said, I'm good, thanks, very well. And he's asking me, what is going on? Right? This is a normal gentleman walking down with Primark bags or a Gucci bags or whatever, whatnot, right? He's asking me what's going on. So what I do is I do not answer that. I pause and I ask him, what do you think is going on? Why did I do that? Sorry? Why did I do that? Someone got an answer? Correct. Correct? Anyone?
It's reverse psychology. It gives you a stance of somewhere to actually start off from.
Correct.
So they're in their mind, they're gonna give you an answer, and you have a basis to work upon. Whereas if you answer that question raw, you have to work all your way up all the steps.
Right. I think that this is something that I think everyone should know. This is because you guys are organizing the march. For you to understand what the public thinks of your march, the best thing to ask them. So while you're walking down the street, just ask them, hey dude, what's going on? What do you think is going on? He will answer all the questions for you. So that's your feedback session for next year when you have to change the march. So I'll share what happened to me. So I asked a gentleman, it was an elderly couple, husband and wife, standing there, and I asked them, what do you think is going on? The guy looked around and he said, there's a lot of Muslims. I was like, okay, what else? And he says, there's a lot of people shouting. Okay, what are they shouting? I don't know. Okay, what else is going on? And they said, is it a march against oppression? Is it against terrorism? Is it against ISIS? Is it against this? Okay, how do you say that? Well, I'm looking at the boards. Right? So that's where you know what happens in the march is very important. People are paying attention to what you're saying. Right? Now you know what's going on. And then I ask them, why do you think it's going on? And they tell me, I think it's stand against ISIS, I think all Muslims are united, which is true. And then I said to him, and then I transitioned into the addressing the Imam Hussain. And he says, very simple, don't have to overcomplicate it, don't have to use so many words that people don't understand. Okay, if I go up to someone and says, Imam Hussain alayhi salam ibn Ali, means who is the person here for a non-Muslim, what is he picking up? Is he picking up alayhi salam? Is he picking up Imam Ali? Or what is he picking up? He gets confused, right? The message doesn't go out right. Just use one word, Hussain ibn Ali, Hussain son of Ali, Hussain son of Ali, Hussain, 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 Hussain. Again, respect Imam Hussain, then you say, what does Imam stand for? Does that make sense? Right? Keep it simple. Very simple. For my presentation, I say, Hussain ibn Ali is a grandson of Prophet Muhammad. As you said, he stood for justice and equality, love, oppression, everything that we people said. For humanity, as a universal figure. And now, 1400 years ago, he was martyred brutally. And from that year on, all over the world, not just in London. In London, we have 3 or 4 marches. Use that. All over the world, from UK, US, America, London, people have in Glasgow, Edinburgh, everywhere. Every single city in the world has got an Ashura procession on the 10th of Ashura. On 10th of Ashura. Am I right or wrong? Yes or no? Yes? Yes? Why are we not saying that to the world in London? Make the people in London feel that you're part of a global movement, which is true. And that's it. At the end, I'm saying, now, what do you think? And he said this, would you like to find out more? Here's a leaflet, read it. Can you do something for me? Can you take a picture of this procession? Take a picture of yourself. Let's take a selfie together. Let's smile and put it on social media. Then hashtag Ashura, hashtag Hussein inspires, hashtag Hussein, hashtag something, hashtag against oppression, hashtag something Twitter. I think something to look into is a Snapchat story. Who has Snapchat here? Come on.
Everyone.
Snapchat? Snapchat, you too? You download Snapchat. You guys got Snapchat? You got Snapchat? No? Are you guys good boys, really? For real? Snapchat, anyone? No? Download Snapchat. Look, don't download Snapchat, that's wrong advice. Right? But anyways, what people do right now, everyone's got Snapchat, everyone's got Instagram, everyone's got Facebook, everyone's got Twitter. Why don't we use one day in our life the right way of social media? Take a picture, get them to take the picture, put it on their social media, not in mine, on their social media. Have a conversation, put it on there, see what they think, and that's how the trending world happens. That's how a story in London will happen that says, oh, Muslims stand against oppressions, Hussein inspires people. Whatever that is, a trend will happen. Am I making sense? It's very simple.
So my approach is very similar to Shah's in terms of what I would do. So my approach would be to be reactive, approach somebody that's reactive. Last year I approached somebody who was pushing a pushchair, kids running around, had shopping bags, and I approached them and they asked the same question to them. What do they think's going on? So I had some building blocks to kind of work on. Now they're carrying shopping bags. So what's the best club? Can I carry your bags? Carried her bags, walked down the road, maybe 10 minutes, 5 minutes, or whatever down the road, carrying her bags, talking to her about Imam Hussein. But what message came across? Not what I was talking about, but my actions. My actions spoke louder than my words. Who's heard of that phrase? Yeah? So you see it all the time. People, elderly, passing by. Create some space for them. How are you, sir? How are you, madam? Blah, blah, blah. And Shah's right in terms of what he's saying. Start off at the basics. Ask them a rhetorical question. They may ask you what's going on, and you ask them, what do you think's going on? They'll give you some sort of basic answer and build upon that. It's really important to build upon that. And I always go with the approach, most people have heard of the Prophet Muhammad. Most people, peace and blessings be upon him, most people have heard of the Prophet Muhammad. You just say it's the grandson of the Prophet, who stood up for injustice, who stood up for humanity. And what we do is reenact that. We follow in their footsteps. And today, we mark his death. And you can talk about some of the great things that are done around the world in his name. For instance, in London, and Shah and myself are involved in the homeless charity. So we feed homeless people and we help homeless people get back into society, stand back on themselves. 8,000 homeless people sleep rough on the streets of London every night. Our neighbours. Now our Imam, if he was here, and we're acting in the actions of the Imam, would help them. And that's what we do. We follow in the footsteps of Ahl-Bayt, who used to dead in the night carry grains of sack on their back and go and feed people that had nothing. So all we're doing is following in their footsteps. So share stories about blood donation. Blood donation is massive. That we promote blood donation. One donation of blood can save up to 3 people's lives. And Imam Hussein teaches us to save lives. So use stories like that, real stories that really connect to people. Your actions are really important. Like I said, carry the shopping bags if you can. Help somebody with a pushchair. Help an elderly person, somebody in a wheelchair. Or just be nice and pleasant along the way.
Okay, thank you. Can I request everyone to just get a phone out of the phone? Can I ask everyone to just take your phones out? And open a text message or a notepad. I'm going to give you 5 simple steps for you to do. Today, let this just be this, that you've learned something. This is it. Right? That's it. I'm going to keep it very simple. Can everyone take your phones out? Everyone. You guys got not a phone? You need to ask your dad to get you a phone. Anyways, guys, anyone got a phone? Anyone who's not got a phone, just take a piece of paper and a pen. Right. Step number 1. What are we going to do? We're going to smile. Let's write that down. S-M-I-L-E. Let me once you're done. Yep, smile. We got it? Yes? Would you like me to spell smile? Okay. Number 2 is a greeting. Good afternoon. Let's write that down. Good afternoon. Trust me, this is reminding for me too. I keep forgetting this morning or afternoon. Okay. Point number 3 is what do you think is going on? Let's write that down. Is going on. Point number 4. Now, this is a part. What does Imam Hussain mean to you? Someone said love. Someone says humanity. Someone said justice. Write that answer for you. That's for you, right? What do you think is the answer? Write that. What does Imam Hussain mean to you? Just don't need to say anyone. Patience, love, kindness, justice. I'm going to write down love. I'm going to write down patience as well. Why not? Do you know what? I'm going to write down justice as well. Okay, point number 5, after love, patience, justice, we're going to write down a picture. And point number 6, finally, before we let them go, what do we say? Thank you for your time. Thank you. 6 steps. Has everyone got it done? Yes? No cheating, I'm telling you. Yeah? So let this be that we walk home tonight and we've learned 6 steps on how to present an Imam Hussain. Okay? Repeat after me. What's step number 1? Sorry? Smile. The biggest smile. Neil. Yeah, boy. Alright, step number 2. Yes, what is it? Good afternoon. Fantastic. Step number 3. Sorry? What do you think is going on? Fantastic. Step number 4. What's the answer? Sorry?
Door.
Yes. So go on. What is it?
Door.
Yeah? You say something else? No, dude, you're not paying attention in class, are you? Yes? What does Imam Hussain mean to you? Someone is love, justice, kindness. Yeah? Step number 5.
Thank you for...
No, that's picture, bro. Picture, yes.
Social media.
Social media, picture, social media, hashtag. Do you guys have a hashtag?
Yes.
What is it?
AL-HUSSAINI.
Okay, any other hashtags apart from that? Unite for Hussain? Can we? Only for Hussain? Can you guys write that? Only for Hussain. I didn't know, I know it now. Unite? Unite for Hussain. Hashtag Unite. MashaAllah, what a beautiful name. Unite is a for Hussain.
AIN as well.
Fantastic. It could be anything. You guys hashtag put love, put peace out, put whatever. Just put nice, kind pleasantry. And step number 6. Thank you. Yes? I'm sorry, I'm just like making you guys go back to school, but this is very important. Today, we walk out the door and we know how to present Abba Abdullah alayhi salam.
Sure.
Got it?
Hold the mic. So, I walk up to somebody. Good afternoon. How you doing? Yeah. So what do you think's going on? Oh. Yeah. Do you want to take a selfie? Yeah. What am I doing wrong? Everything's wrong, right? Closed body language. It's like the worst thing you can ever do, that. Mutter, mutter, mutter. Look at your feet. Scratch your nose. Pick your nose. Scratch your head. Look here, look there. Eye contact is important. Not staring into somebody's eyes. Think of your clown, but give them the attention they deserve. Be open. Good afternoon. Use your hands. Be the marker. How are you? How is your day? Small little things. The eyes smile, the mouth smiles, the body smiles. This is just the worst thing you could ever do. right? How many volunteers do we see doing that? Honestly.
Want a leaflet? Here, have a leaflet. Go online.
I'll be there on the day. If I see anyone doing it, my gosh.
I think Sayyid Hassan briefly just said Akhlaq is a presentation. We were actually going to do a role play right now. Any questions so far? Has that been useful? Very useful? You're just saying, I'm going to buy you a chocolate. Anyone else? Do you think you learned something? Yeah? Useful? You can use this in your school. You can use it in a bus. You can use this in a tube. When you're wearing the jumper that he's wearing right now, when people are asking you, well, why do you guys do this? Then smile. First thing, smile, greeting, explain, close, walk away. Very simple steps. Okay? So we're going to do a really quick role play, 5-10 minutes, and we'll be done. Alright? So Neil, we're going to do the role play. Come here, and Neil is this is going to be the best role play ever. So I want everyone to pay attention to this one. Okay? So this is exactly what you should be doing. This is how you should be doing, end to end. No one make a mistake. Boys, can you see this? Okay? It's very important, right? So Neil is going to be representing the Ashura March, and I'm the bystander. I'm the walking by with the shopping bags. Neil, do you want to leaflet as well? Just walking by, right? Can everyone see us?
Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
I'm good.
How's your day?
It's alright.
Yeah? Enjoying yourself?
Yeah.
What do you think's going on here today, sir?
I don't know.
What springs to mind when you look at all these people?
People wearing something on their head. I don't know what that is.
It's a hot day. They're covering their head.
Okay.
Yeah.
What guy's not doing that?
Oh, the sisters, you mean?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. They're wearing hijab. They're covering their head. They're respecting their morality and modesty.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's part of our religion.
Okay.
Yeah. But today you can see a lot of people there. They're marching. They're all in black.
Yeah, I can see some like posters or something.
Yeah.
Say something like.
See that one there? Did you see that one there?
Yeah.
Hussein inspires.
Oh yeah. Oh okay. Who is Hussein? Who's Hussein?
Well, Hussein is the grandson of the Prophet Muhammad. Have you heard of the Prophet Muhammad?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's his grandson. Now Hussein, in his time, 1400 years ago, he stood up against oppression and stood up for humanity.
Wow.
So we kind of do stuff that helps humanity. We follow in his footsteps. But today, unfortunately, marks his death. So what we're doing is marking his death.
Okay.
So all these people out here are living the values of Hussein. Hussein inspired all these people to get up out of their houses and inspire these people to help people, humanity, and fight against injustice and oppression. But today, you can see how many people are saddened by his death.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. So sorry to hear that.
That's okay. Thank you so much. What I'll do, sir, I know you're busy. This is a leaflet. At the bottom, there's a website, whoshussein.org.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, please do. Have you got social media at all?
Yeah.
Snapchat?
Yeah, I do.
Do you mind taking a quick selfie?
Yeah. Do you want to take it?
Yeah, please, please, please.
Can you please smile?
I'll try. Hold on. Let me just do my hair.
Thank you. What's the hashtag again?
Hashtag, let's hashtag.
Yeah, let's remember it.
Really?
Make sure that Neil fix it.
Alright, fix my eyebrows.
Smile.
There we go. He really took one. So let's hashtag Hussein inspires.
Okay.
Yeah? Perfect.
It was nice meeting you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for your time. Take care and have a good day, okay?
Thank you.
Take care.
So what do you think happened? Was it alright? You need some feedback. What do you think? What went good? Everything? Okay.
Smile.
He smiled, yes. The way he reacted. Yes, he did. Anything else, blacks, boys? He was very open. Anything? Friendly. And most importantly, he spoke from the heart. You know what I'm saying? Again, something Sayyid Hassan does it very beautifully. When you're speaking of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, just remember back your head that his sister is standing right behind you, observing you. Just remember that. Every single step, every single time you walk down. So make sure you are at your best of your best behavior and you present him the way his sister would like him to be presented. And then you speak from your heart. You speak from the heart, the other guy gets emotional. I have seen stories, I've heard people talk about this, that when they communicate in the name of Abdullah, people break, people cry. Trust me, why would they not cry? You know what I mean? Fantastic. Any other questions? We're going to do one more role play, a horrible one, a very bad one.
One thing I did, which no one really spotted, is I mirrored him. So I mirrored his body language. So you might get someone to stand there like that. Stand there, mirror them. So how's it going today? Yeah. Mirroring is really important. It makes people feel really comfortable. Really comfortable. So he was stood there like this. So I did the same thing. Sister finds that funny. How you doing? People do it. Just mirror them. It makes people feel real comfortable because you're in their space. And I didn't give him too much space. You notice he came closer to me and I took a step back a little bit. And my leaflet was here, not my leaflet here.
Privacy. We had like
So-
space, a private space.
Yeah.
Right, so we're going to do one bad role play. I'm going to be representing the organization, so forgive me if I ruin it, which I will. Okay, we ready? Right, good. Yeah. Hi sir, how you doing? Hi, how you doing? Sorry, I just want to talk to you for a minute. Have you got a minute? Can you come over here?
Not really.
Listen, I'm not going to...
The kids are over there.
It literally take me 2 minutes.
Mate,
Are you sure?
come on, man.
You gotta go? Okay, can you give me 2 minutes? It's alright. Okay, fine. Alright, listen. I think I forgot what I was talking about. Okay, so basically, there's a lot of people here. They're just like talking about. So a man called Hussein. He died in Karbala. He got martyred. I think Hussein. Do you know Hussein? No. Okay, come. Wait. Someone's watching. Can we just take a quick? Can we take a quick picture before we go?
What are you doing?
No, sorry. It's just.
No,
Oh no. Okay, fine. No, please. Let's move on to someone else. Right. Anyways, so what do you think went wrong? Yeah.
Just carry and you don't know.
Yeah. I know what you want to talk about. Again, Syed hasn't said that earlier. Don't speak when you don't know. Okay. Huh? He's not happy. You're correct. Yeah. He just put his hand together. What the hell did I do there? What was I doing? Representing the Ashura March disaster. I should be fired. You're right. Anything else?
I think if people want to go and don't have time, give them that space and apologize for any inconvenience.
Spot on. I did not respect him. I didn't care about him. I just did not. I just wanted to get my point out. I want to take that quick selfie instead of didn't care. Anything else? Yes.
You were touching him and he didn't give you personal space.
100% true. Spot on. Anything else? Anyone else? Do you want to add anything? Yeah. 100%. Yeah. You were saying something?
Yeah, he wasn't interested and he was still carrying on with the conversation.
Correct. You're right.
Jargon.
Yeah.
Karbala. What's Karbala? Where's that? Who's that?
I spoke about blood, killed, very straight to the end line. Yeah, there was just one slide. Let's go back. Okay, so the things you should. Sorry, does that make sense? Right? Just don't do that, please. Right? People, trust me, people do it. And I also noticed people last year having conversations with people they shouldn't. There was a gentleman literally asking you, oh, you Shias are crazy. And you're like trying to explain who Shia Islam to them. It's just like, oh, you guys beating your chest, you guys do this, you guys do that, you guys are not on the right path, you guys are like, don't engage in the conversation. We are not there to teach people. We're just there to spread love, kindness, and be patient. You see someone causing problems, biggest thing you could do is walk away. That's the right thing to do. Walk away from that situation. Say, I'm really sorry, brother. I'm really sorry, sister. I need to go. If you need more information, please email us in. We can have a chat or pass on a trainer. That's very important because the last thing you want to do is two people having a debate or an argument in Oxford Street or in Central London. Am I right? Yeah? The last thing you want to do is you say something you shouldn't say, crossing the line you shouldn't do, and the other person has got a closed mind. Don't do that. Right? So we're going to do the things you do's and don'ts. Neil?
Remember also, it's not social. So you see your friends there and stuff, just, how you doing, salam. Don't all gather together and, how you doing, It's not a social event. We see that a lot, right? So some do's and don'ts. Really, really important stuff. So talk about the universal values. We all mentioned all the universal values: morality, injustice, oppression, humanity. Don't talk about the religious campaign. Avoid the religious campaign. Sounds silly, doesn't it? Really. But don't go too deep into it. Don't go too deep in religion. Go on something that, as Sayyid Hassan said, is connect with people. Humanity is a really big one because there's so much. 153 million orphans in the world, 8,000 homeless people, over 1 billion people without access to clean water in the world. Small points that can really, really entice people in. Statistics are really fantastic. Your output should be orientated. You should get them involved. So as I say, the two different role plays, you can see the difference between the two. Don't use the words like Imam, alayhi salam. Don't use Karbala, don't use blood, don't use those kind of terminologies. Use terminologies that people will understand and people will connect with. Ask them for their thoughts. So as we said, a great intro is to ask them what they think is going on and use those as building blocks. Don't be aggressive and don't be preachy. I don't think there's any Maulanas in the room. No scholars. No?
Next 10 years.
Maybe him.
No, next 10 years.
Maybe, inshallah. So don't try to preach to people. You're not there to convert people, but you're there to share the love of Hussein. Be friendly, be smile, be polite. Don't talk too much.
I do a lot.
A lot. And be, be down, don't be downbeat. I know we're mourning, but it's okay to smile. It's okay to interact with people and smile, right? It's warming and heartwarming. So just a few points, a few do's and don'ts. Really try to avoid the negative connotation of Ashura and try to show the love of Hussein alayhi salam.
Any other question, ladies and gentlemen? We're going to wrapping up really quickly. Any other questions before we go? Yeah.
Can you also ask everybody here to relay this message back to their friends who are also going to be volunteering on the day?
You got a text message we're going to go through before we finish today. Yeah, sorry, you had a
I was
question.
just talking about social media. On the day on Snapchat, we're possibly going to have a filter for the message saying, so if you could please use that while you're uploading on
You
social
guys
media.
hear that?
Got our own filter, so if you can please use it on the day.
There's going to be a filter, no cats and mouses and everything. Alright? Fine. Before we wrap up, just wanted to say, get your phones back out. I want to go through these 6 points again. This is very important. I'm really sorry if I'm just sounding like a teacher. I definitely should be a teacher. Alright, 5 points, 6 points. Alright, number 1, what's the point?
Smile.
Smile. Number 2.
Good afternoon.
Yes. Number 3. Fantastic. Number 4. Perfect. Number 5. Correct. Number 6. Thank you. Guys, perfect. Just on behalf of Neil and myself, we just want to thank you, Muhammad and Sister Akwa, for giving us the opportunity. And again, I want to say a thank you very much for having us here. And inshallah, we'll be there tomorrow on the day of Ashura, inshallah. So if you need us, please give us a shout. And can we have a loud salawat, please? Thank you.
Thank you to Brother Shah and Brother Neil. Yeah, thank you. So thank you. That wraps up the volunteer meeting this year. We will be having another one for the 40 days. If you have any questions, we're going to add everyone who came here today onto the WhatsApp groups. If you have any questions, please post them on the WhatsApp groups. Get in touch with the person who invited you here. Spread whatever you learned here today to anyone that doesn't speak English. If you understand and you're able to translate it to them, it would be a great benefit. On the day itself, we're going to have another briefing for all the volunteers, so you will be brought up to date on anything that you need to know. Well, thank you very much, and can I have a very loud salawat for the meetings? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.